Hello everyone, welcome to our class about mythology. And today we will begin with the origin of myth. And you are going to have some rough idea about the initial differences in Chinese and Western myths. So, why and how do we have myth? Well, myth often comes out of some early people who inhabit in a certain place and express their understanding and association of their surroundings and its beginnings. In another word, myth often involves the serious topic of how things began. And that's why all cultures have myths, especially creation myth. The common feature in all myths is that it is always about being sacred. There are usually gods, deities, superheroes, animals who can transform into human beings. They are all transcendental figures that are above the physical limitation of mortals. And they're active only in the prehistoric or ancient times that bear a mysterious and exotic aura. That's what we have talked about in the introduction. Psychiatrist Carl Jung argues that myth is a necessary aspect of the human psyche which needs to find meaning and order in the world, which often presents itself as chaotic and meaningless. This argument explains the underlying allure of mythology to us. It is always about the numinous quality of the mysterious, holy, sacred, and powerful possibilities which could give a final meaning to human existence. When one feels lost in the questions of where do I come from or where does the world come from, the concept of something greater and more powerful than oneself gives one the hope of direction and protection in an uncertain world. Chinese mythology originated largely from the totem worship. The tribe of Yan-Di, or Flame Emperor, worshipped the god of fire. Yan literally means flame, implying that Yan Emperor's people possibly uphold a symbol of fire as their tribal totem. Yan-Di is recorded with the image of a bull's head and human's body, typically a demigod figure, which makes him even more exotic. Let's take a look at another important figure in Chinese mythology, Huangdi, or Yellow Emperor. Huangdi's people worshipped the god of sun. His name was originally yellow soil with the Chinese character Di, which literally means soil or ground, to refer to the Yellow River Basin area, where the Chinese civilization had originated from. Yan-Di and Huangdi, as ancestors of Chinese civilization, was the symbols of soil, cattle, sunlight, and heat, have helped to cultivate the tradition of farming civilization and have set the fundamental temperament of the Chinese nation of humility, unpretentiousness, and realism. You see, these examples explain perfectly what mythology means to a culture. It helps to make it clear what makes me or what makes us. Mythology is of central importance to a culture because it contains a self-definition of a culture as well as their passed-down worldview. So, what about the mythology in the West, the Roman and Greek mythology in particular? It is interesting to find tremendous influence of ocean in it, which will be discussed in detail in our later class. But here, let's take a quick look at some of those famous tales, such as Poseidon's heroic exploits, who is the Roman god of the sea, Jason's adventure in recovering the gold fleece, and Odysseus' exploration in the sea. What we see there is their boldness and bravery to confront and wrestle with the power of the ocean, and through which they discover and define themselves. These mythical tales and literature are given credit to have settled the spirit of the maritime civilization, which boasts ardency, boldness, enthusiasm, and adventurousness. Therefore, mythology has recorded some metaphorical and symbolic features of a culture, which is of central importance to it. Let's go through quickly what we have learned in today's class. Questions. 1. What does mythology usually tell us about? Mythology often tries to answer the question of how things began. It is the record of the early understanding and explanation of the universe by the primitive inhabitants of a place. And the common feature of all myths is there are sacred figures in the stories. 2. How did Chinese and Greek mythology begin, respectively? Chinese mythology originated largely from the totem worship. Examples are Yandi's people worshiping the totem of fire, and Huangdi's people worshiping the totem of sun. Greek mythology is closely related to the sea.